Luna Colleen's eyes fluttered open with a quiet gasp. The glow in her eyes had receded, showing her wolf had retreated to the back of her mind. She took in deep breaths, as though she had found it difficult to breathe, and Neveah's brows furrowed in concern. "How do you feel?" Neveah asked worriedly, when Luna Colleen did not speak for a moment. This was Neveah's first time carrying out this neutralizing process on someone else, and so she was not entirely certain how the after effects would manifest. "Lightheaded, and my right arm feels heavy," Luna Colleen said slowly. "It will fade. Come. You have done well. Enough for today. Rest, and we shall continue tomorrow," Neveah said, as she stored the knife away. "All of this came out of me?" Luna Colleen asked in disbelief. Neveah trailed her gaze to see Luna Colleen was staring at the grass, which had been blackened by the poisoned blood. "This is the effect of the moon whisper. It turns your blood into a deadly poison intended to completely paralyze a supernatural. However, when administered in little quantities, as was given to you, it makes your womb incapable of growing life," Neveah revealed. "You mean all these while my poisoned blood killed my pups?" Luna Colleen asked in a shaky tone. "Do not blame yourself. Whoever has done this to you is the one at fault. The moon whisper cannot be easily diagnosed. This was an intentional and malicious act," Neveah said. Neveah could not believe someone would be evil enough to prevent Luna Colleen from having her own children for as long as 2 decades. To let such a kind-hearted woman suffer the pain of losing her pups repeatedly? Neveah could not imagine just how much pain Luna Colleen had been through. How much scorn she must have suffered for failing in her duty to give her mate an heir. Yet she was duty-bound to hold her head up high and keep a smile on, because she was a Luna. "Who would want to hurt me so terribly?" Luna Colleen sobbed out. Neveah knew it must have been difficult for her to come to terms with the fact that her blood had stolen the breath from her own pups, whilst she could have done nothing to save them because she did not know. To accept the fact that, like everyone must have said, her inability to bear children was her own fault, that if her mate had been with any other woman, he would already have his own heir, and the only crime her innocent pups had committed was being conceived by her. Well, now you will get to see them pay for all they did to you. But first, you will hold your pups in your arms. Believe that," Neveah assured Luna Colleen as she helped her up to her feet. The two began heading back the way they had come, and Neveah supported Luna Colleen as they moved, since Luna Colleen's footing was still unsteady. Luna Colleen had lost a lot of blood. Although her wound had healed already, it would take some time to fully recover. It was why Neveah had to spread the process across 3 days. It would be too tasking on Luna Colleen otherwise. They moved in silence as Luna Colleen sorted her thoughts and emotions, and Neveah was comfortable to just support her back to the lodge. However, after a moment, Luna Colleen did speak. "How do you know so much about the moon whisper?" "From what I know, you were only sent to the healer tribe for 2 months," Luna Colleen asked curiously. Neveah was quiet for a moment. She did not want to talk about how she had gained her knowledge. There were personal affairs that she would never be willing to share. Besides, the Eclipse Hunt knew nothing of Neveah's true identity as a bastard child. They only knew Neveah Omega Lothaire as the beloved Eclipse Princess, daughter of Alpha King Lothaire and his Queen Vilma, beloved by her parents and doted on by her brother. "After it is completely neutralized, I will tell you then," Neveah decided. This was a critical time for Luna Colleen. Neveah would not burden her with her personal affairs. The Luna of Eclipse Hunt was far too kind-hearted. Neveah did not want to become a concern for her, and she was unwilling to lie also. Neveah had always lived by a simple policy: However she was treated, she would repay in the same coin. Luna Colleen treated her with sincerity. She would never take it for granted. "Okay," Luna Colleen said with a nod. They walked the rest of the distance back to the lodge, where 2 warrior wolves waited anxiously for their return. The 2 warrior wolves had been assigned to protect Luna Colleen and Neveah, while the rest had escorted Alpha Dane to the highest mountain range for the first gathering of the Alpha's summit. Noticing Luna Colleen leaning against Neveah for support, the 2 warrior wolves rushed over, and Neveah stepped away, lifting both hands innocently. "Luna, are you okay?" the warrior wolf with hair the color of copper asked in concern. "I'm fine. Don't make a fuss. You're scaring Neveah," Luna Colleen reprimanded, and the warrior wolf nodded. "My apologies, Princess," the warrior wolf said, and Neveah shook her head. "It's okay. You have every right to be wary of me," Neveah said, shaking her head dismissively. "My name is Declan, and this is Vincent," the warrior wolf with copper hair introduced. Neveah had not had the time to get acquainted with the pack members of Eclipse Hunt, as she had traveled with the group from Eclipse Claw. Beyond that, everyone had been in their wolf form save for her, and Neveah was not at all interested in socializing. "Declan is Dane's nephew. Vincent is my baby brother," Luna Colleen explained, and Neveah nodded, allowing a small smile. "Pleasure making your acquaintance," Neveah said perfunctorily. "You don't sound like you mean that. I mean, with that blank expression, that's practically the only expression I've ever seen on you, Princess," Vincent pointed out bluntly. "Vin, play nice," Luna Colleen warned. "It's our bad. The princess is not familiar with us yet. I think when she is, she'll love us," Declan defended. "Aunt Colleen needs to rest. Get her settled in. I'll just go in first," Neveah said, feeling uncomfortable with the atmosphere. "But," Declan began to argue, but Vincent stopped him. "Leave her be, Declan. The Eclipse Royals are on a different plane from us," Vincent said with a shake of his head as they stared after Neveah. "Neveah is different, Vin," Luna Colleen reprimanded. "Is she really?" Vincent asked, before he also turned and strode away. "How bothersome," Neveah scoffed quietly beneath her breath as she pulled the door open and stepped out. "I could be in the luxury of my father's palace, yet here I am doing God knows what." "He's right. I'm not much different," Neveah said, watching as Vincent froze in his step and turned around. "You heard that?" Declan asked with a wince, whilst Luna Colleen looked apologetic. Neveah was not particularly offended. She knew not all the Eclipse packs had the best opinion of the royal family, especially after her father had attempted to seize Alpha Dane's territory a little while ago, whilst making it look as though Alpha Dane was the disloyal subordinate. And that was the least of what her father had done, only that they were only aware of that much, and so they were justified to be wary of the royal family. And they were not wrong, too. They could not even begin to comprehend how much worse the royal family was than what they thought. Neveah also knew there was nowhere she would go within the Eclipse territory that she would not be judged by her heritage. She was her father's daughter, as much as she wished she could be anyone else but Neveah Omega Lothaire. This was her fate. "Princess," Declan began to explain, but Neveah lifted a hand to silence him. "You need not explain your opinion to me. I do not care to know of it either, but I would advise you mind how you speak. My father is not a forgiving man," Neveah said in her characteristic blank monotone. "The Alpha King would not know of my words, if you do not plan on relaying them to him, that is," Vincent replied in an unfazed tone. "You would be surprised," Neveah said, an amused smirk on her lips, as she pulled out a dagger from her boot and flung it at the closest tree. Luna Colleen, Vincent, and Declan watched in shock as a black raven tumbled from the sky, struck from the air by Neveah's dagger. Neveah had sensed the familiar presence of the spy raven the moment she had emerged from the woods with Luna Colleen.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.